Bitcoin in this last week has broken into the bull market doors. We have entered the bull market, everyone. We've waited months for this, but I want to remind you in this video about a $24,000 target that we talked about in this last summer. What is up, everyone? Welcome to Crypto Capital Venture. Hit that subscribe and like on the way in. It really means a lot to me. Let's jump into this really good Bitcoin video, because it's good, because it's macro analysis and it's about this pattern that we talked about in the summer. And I'm going to play 3 clips for you, but please absorb this. I mean, this is like important stuff to really track and show you how this is broken down. It could not look more bullish in terms of what has transpired. So let's do this real quick. This is from July 24th. This is almost a year-long inverse head and shoulders on this weekly chart. It's really cool to watch. I'm really curious to see. Now take note, $9,500 Bitcoin. How this plays out, at the very least, what we're looking for, slow and steady growth. It's okay if it's not breaking out crazy and we're breaking it right away. Slow and steady growth on this weekly. Higher highs and higher lows leading to that neckline is what we're looking for. Wanted to share this with you. That's that, right? Now this was July 24th from the same video. Check this out. Fibonacci retracement from the bull market high in 2017 to the bear market low in 2018. We have our bull market doors. That is the $13,000 to $16,000 range, this green rectangle. And you can see this would be the story playing out for Bitcoin if Bitcoin breaks through this inverse head and shoulders, makes its way up to its $24,000 target. Do you see what has happened? It has happened. Everybody, it has happened. One more quick clip. The more separation Bitcoin can get from this whole area, the better, so that we can start using that area as support for continuation. So, okay, so everything that I talked about, this was July 27th. And so July 24th video, $9,500. July 27th video, 10,800, Bitcoin making moves, breaking that neckline. And everything I talked about in those July videos has transpired perfectly. Even that last clip, which talked about getting separation from the neckline, which we did up to 12,500 or so. So we revisit that area. Look at Bitcoin consolidating along the neckline for support. The most perfect in terms of technical analysis, retracement, support, and throwback to a trend line. It has played out perfectly, leading into Bitcoin breaking off of there, into the bull market doors, breaking to the bull market. Everybody, I just love how this has transpired. And we're talking about Bitcoin right now, right around 30% away from that $24,000 target. But keep in mind, when I started tracking this, what was Bitcoin? Around $9,500 or something, 154% away. So we've really cut into that margin, and Bitcoin is approaching the $24,000 target. And the other thing that I just want to remind you is, zooming out on this chart, is remember, confluent with that $10,500 neckline right here, right? And that neckline goes back to here, was this upper trend line of this long-term symmetrical triangle with a target into the 70,000s, right? So we've revisited that, and that happened, you can see, and Bitcoin bounced bullishly for confirmation off of that entire area that we talked about in that video. So going over to this weekly chart, it's so important to keep in mind from a technical analysis perspective, the macro patterns that are in play right now. Because yes, we broke the bull market doors, which is this Fibonacci retracement that I just talk about so much on this channel. Yes, that happened, but keep in mind the other technicals that have been confluent with this entire move, namely the break above the neckline, back down to the neckline, and off to the races, right? So keep that in mind. Now, integrating into this, I want to discuss some things with you in regards to what's happening right now, because yeah, we have a $24,000 target right up here in terms of that inverse head and shoulders is in play. We're on our way. What did I say? 30% away or so. But where are we now in terms of Bitcoin? And this isn't, if I'm sure by now, I mean, we're almost 5 minutes into this video. I'm sure you can tell how bullish I am on Bitcoin right now. I'm sure you can, but I'm also realist. And I'm realistic in terms of the data that is presented before us. And even in uptrends, even in bull markets, Bitcoin retraces, right? So I would not be doing you any favors if I didn't just talk about that, if I didn't track that of what that might look like, right? Even this move was a retracement, and I talked about that was likely to happen. It's what we wanted to see happen, and I always say that a throwback can be so bullish, and this is what that looks like, everybody. This is what it looks like from a technical analysis perspective. Technical analysis isn't just Bitcoin's bullish. That's the chart, right? Technical analysis is looking for retracements. It's looking for supports to confirm bullishness. And this is a macro bullish indicator. So where are we now? Here's where we are. We're getting, as you know, overextended, overbought, right? We're getting into this area, Bitcoin historically. And I want to say this to you, everybody. If you look at a Bitcoin chart zoomed out, right? And let me go to this other chart because this goes back further. If you zoom out on this weekly chart and you see historically 100% of the time, basically, Bitcoin, and let me expand this. Bitcoin 100% of the time, this is 2012. There's that green line, the 20-week moving average. 20-week moving average. 100% of the time, everybody, Bitcoin gets pulled back to that region in uptrends, right? Here we go. 2016. Here's Bitcoin entering the bull market last cycle. Even in the uptrend, gets pulled back to 100% of the time. So if we have that data, why, when Bitcoin right now is just killing it and it's bullish, but we're getting overextended from that 20-week moving average, and we are overextended. I mean, we're up here, we're like 50% plus away overextended from this 20-week moving average, that green line. Why would you not anticipate just like this crazy consolidation for Bitcoin? It could be crazy. It could be sideways. Bitcoin could just cool off for like a couple weeks, right? Give this time to catch up and then collide into it and bounce continuation to the upside. But Bitcoin can also just have a huge red week where we're going, into the 13,000s. And I've been talking about the 13,000s a lot. It doesn't sound like positive. It doesn't sound nice, but I really don't care how it sounds. It's 100% in play, and I have to throw it out there for you. If we go back to this chart now, right, and we analyze, well, where is that 20-week moving average in terms of everything else going on? And here's the 20-week moving average. It's coming up. We're getting into the 12,000s now, right? It's close to 12,000, and if Bitcoin just does nothing for a week, this will move up too, right? So we have that, but we also have the Fibonacci retracement, this macro bull market doors. And the move that we're anticipating probably the most is a potential revisit to the 618 line. That's this bottom line, right around 13,500 or so. That's the move we're anticipating. And a move to the downside like that would look like right around 20 to 30% or so, right? So the question is this, on this macro chart, as Bitcoin approaches 24,000, what happens first before the massive retracement? Is it the massive retracement into $24,000, right? Or are we going to continue here in the next week or two, bust through 20,000, hit 24,000, get that target hit, and then retrace, maybe even just to the 786 line, right, of the Fibonacci retracement, since we've gotten that much separation if that happens? That's what I'm tracking. Any scenario between those two scenarios, each one is bullish. The only factor is you have to be patient. It's a weekly chart. These are macro support areas. These are macro targets, right? So you have to be patient for these things to play out. And I really wanted to track this because I haven't really talked about this inverse head and shoulders that much lately, and it's just so in play right now. It's playing out perfectly. It's playing out really nicely on the Bitcoin chart. So $24,000 targets in play. I have no doubt Bitcoin's going to hit it. The question is, do you have the patience to kind of remain steadfast as Bitcoin decides in which manner it's going to hit it? But please, everybody, be prepared for any type of consolidation, any type of throwback. Crazy weekly chart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weekly green candles. It's just looking awesome in terms of what Bitcoin is doing. So let's keep an eye on this. Going to track it. I'm sure my next video will probably be more of a zoomed in look at what Bitcoin's doing in the short term, as we are very close to that all-time high, everyone. Just over $1,000 away. That can happen. so quick. So hit that subscribe, everybody. I appreciate you. Can we hit 50,000 subscribers in the next like 24 hours? That would be ridiculous. That would be exciting. Either way, I appreciate all of you. Hit that like button on the way out. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.